Hello students, welcome to Sri Vardhaman Vidyalaya online educations. So today we will see the part 3 of a chapter 2 is matter around us pure. So in this part we will study about the uh, properties of a true solution, collided solutions and suspension solutions. So first the properties of a solution. That is the property of true solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture. The particles of the solution are smaller than 1 nanometer, so that is 10 to the power minus 9 meter in diameter. So they cannot be seen by naked eye. Because of a very small particle size, they do not scatter in a beam of light passing through the solution. So the path of light is not visible in a solution. The solid particles cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. The solid particles do not settle down when left undisturbed. So that is the solution is stable. So these are the properties of a solution. Next, concentration of a solution. In an activity 2.2, we observed that a group A and B obtain different shades of solution. So we understood that in a solution, the relative proportion of the solute and solvent can be varied. Depending upon the amount of the solute present in a solution, it can be called diluted, concentrated or saturated solution. So diluted and concentrations are comparative terms. So in activity 2.2, the solutions obtained by a group A is diluted as compared to that of an obtained by the group B. So activity 2.3. Take an approximately 50 ml of water each in two separate beakers. Add a salt in one beaker and sugar or a barium chloride in the second beaker with a continuously stirring. When no more solid can be dissolved, heat the content of the beaker and started adding the solid again. Is the amount of the salt and sugar or the barium chloride that can be dissolved in water at a given temperature the same? So at any particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solid as it is capable of dissolving is said to be saturated solution. In another word, when no more solid can be dissolved in a solution at a given temperature, it is called saturated solution. So the amount of a solid present in the saturated solution at this temperature is called as a solubility. That is, we have seen in a previous video. If the amount of the solid contained in a solution is less than the saturation level, then it is called unsaturated solution. What happens if you were to take a saturated solutions at certain temperature and cool it slowly? We can infer from the above activity that the different substance in a given solvent have a different solubility at a same temperature. Next topic, concentration. So the concentration of the solution is the amount of solid present in a given amount, that is mass or volume of the solution, or the amount of the solid dissolved in a given mass or the volume of a solvent. So how we can find out the concentration of a solution? So that is by the, we can say the concentration of the solution is equal to amount of the solid by the amount of a solution, or the amount of a solid or upon the amount of a solvent. So we can find out the concentration of solutions by the two methods, that is solute and solution, solute or solvent. So there are the various way of expressing the concentration of a solution. So first we will study, so first, mass by mass percentage of a solution. So mass by mass means we are taking both a mass of the solid upon the mass of the solutions into 100. So we are going to find out the percentage. So you know how to find out the percentage. Okay. Next, the mass of mass by the volume percentage of the solution. That is mass of the solid upon the volume of a solutions into 100. Next, the volume by volume percentage of a solution. So in this one, we are taking both a volume, that is volume of a solid upon the volume of a solutions into 100. So using this, we can calculate, we can do the one example. So in your book, the example 2.1, solutions contain 40 gram of a common salt in 320 gram of a water. So calculate the concentration in term of mass by mass percentage of the solution. So what is given? Mass of the solute is given 40, mass of the solvent is given 320. You have to find out the mass by mass percentage. So mass by mass percentage is the formula is this one, mass of the solute upon the mass of solutions into 100. So mass by mass percentage of the solution. So here first we have to find out the mass of the solution. So mass of the solution is nothing but the mass of the solute plus the mass of a solvent. So the 40 plus 320 gram, we will get 360 gram. So now we are going to find out the mass percentage of the solution is equal to mass of the solute upon the mass of solutions into 100. Mass of the solute is a 40 and we have find out the mass of the solution, that is a 360. So 40 upon 360 into 100 is equal to 11.1 percentage. So this is the percentage of a solution. Next, that is suspension solution. So suspension solution is in a non-homogeneous system like those obtained by the group C in an activity 2.2. We have seen the activity 2.2 in a first video. So in the first video we have seen that is in a group C. What is that one? So in which the solid are dispersed in the liquid or called as a suspension. So a suspension is a heterogeneous mixtures in which the solid particles do not dissolve but remain suspended throughout the bulk of the medium. The particles of suspensions are visible to the naked eye. So in suspension solutions, what happens? It is a heterogeneous mixture. So you know what is heterogeneous mixture. The solid particles will not dissolve, but it will be suspended, that it will be remain in a solvent. So the properties of a suspension. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixtures. The particles of suspension can be seen by the naked eye. The particles of the suspension scattered in a beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. The solid particles settle down when a suspension is left undisturbed. That is, suspension is unstable. So what is the meaning of this point? That is when we can take an example, sand and water. So sand and water is in a suspension solution. So we will dissolve that sand in the water. What happens after some time we will kept for undisturbed. So when we left that solutions undisturbed, what happens? That is sand particles will be settle down and the water will be remain in an up. So that we are calling as this one, that it is suspension solution is not an stable. That is, it is an unstable. And they can be separated from the mixtures by the process of filtration. So using filtrations, we can separate that sand particles. When the particles settle down, the suspensions break and it does not scatter light anymore. Okay, so when the suspension solution is there, so what happens? The scattering of a beam light will pass us, but when suspensions will break, that is when the particles settle down, what happens? It does not scatter light anymore. You know, that is, it will be having a two phase. One is a sand and next one is a liquid. So you know that is a true solutions, it will not pass us the scattering in a beam of light. So what happens? So during in a suspensions, when a particles is not settled down, at that time what happens? The scattering of beam of light will be take place. But when it will be settled down, the suspensions will break, so it does not scatter any more light. Next is a collided solution. The mixtures obtained by the group D in activity 2.2 is called as a collided or collided solution. The particles of collided are uniformly spread throughout the solution. Due to the relatively smaller size of particles as compared to that of a suspension, the mixtures appear to be homogeneous. But actually, the collided solutions is heterogeneous mixtures. For example, milk. So here we can see the two type of mixtures. One is a homogeneous and second one is heterogeneous. Why it is an homogeneous? Because the smaller size of particles, it is very small as compared to the suspension. So we cannot see our with a naked eye. So that what it is a homogeneous. But actually the collided solution is a heterogeneous. For example, you can see in a milk. So in a milk, if we add in a water, what happens? We cannot see the milk particles inside the water. Even in a one drop of milk you are adding in the water, you cannot see the particles of milk. Because of a smaller size of collided particles, we cannot see them with the naked eye. But these particles can easily scatter in a beam of light, visible as we observed in the activity 2. So this is scattering light. So the scattering of a beam of light is called Tyndall effect after the name of the scientist who have discovered this effect. Okay, so what is Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect can also be observed when a fine beam of a light enters through the room through a small hole. This happens due to the scattering of light by the particles of dust smoke in the air. Now you can see that this is a torch. A beam of light is passing through the beaker containing a solution A and the beaker containing the solution B. So in beaker A, the solution of copper sulfate. They do not show a Tyndall effect. Why? Because the copper sulfate will be dissolved in a water and it will be in a true solution, so that we cannot see any Tyndall effect. But in a beaker, we can see the mixtures of water and the milk. So you cannot see the particles of milk, but it shows a Tyndall effect. That is a scattering of light will be entered through the Tyndall effect. So the Tyndall effect can be observed when the sunlight passes through the canopies of dense forest. In forest, mist containing tiny droplets of water which act as the particles of collider dispersion in air. So this is the example of a Tyndall effect in the dense forest. If even in a small hole that is present inside the tree, what happens? You can see that in a light rays. So this is also a Tyndall effect. Now here the flashlights, true solutions, collided and suspensions. So here the suspension solutions, the suspension particles are not settled down. So then we can see the Tyndall effect. Here it is also, here we cannot see the Tyndall effect. So here there is a light scattered through the collided solution. So you can see that the light will be scattered, that is a collided mixture of flows and water, that is in a wheat flour and water. The solutions of water and red sugar, that is it will not shows. Okay, now here you can see light through pole, so that is also Tyndall effect. And here a car that will be runs in a mist or fog, at that time also you can see a Tyndall effect. So what is the causes? You can see that that is Tyndall effect will be caused due to the scattering of a light by the collided particles. You can see even when a beam of light is thrown on the screen, at the path of a light clearly visible. So just when a dust particles in the air scatter that light. For example, you can see if you are in a theater, okay, even in a small hole will be present in that theater. What happens when a light will be passed through that one? You can see that is dust particles will be floating on that one. So that is an example of a Tyndall effect. Next, the properties of a collider. So collider is a heterogeneous mixtures. The size of the particles of collider is too small to be individually seen by the naked eye. The size of particles lies between 10 to the power minus 8 meter, that is 10 nanometer, to 10 to the power minus 6 meter, that is 1000 nanometer. The collider are bigger enough to scatter and a beam of light passing through it and make its parts visible. They do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is, a collider is quite stable. When you can see when a milk is added in the water and you will kept for undisturbed, what happens? The milk and water will be separated? No. So that is, it is in a quite stable. They cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. So we cannot separate using a filtrations, but there is a special technique of separations known as centrifugation that can be used to separate the collided particles. So this centrifuge we will see in this chapter about a separation of mixtures. So the main point here, what is the component of collided solutions are in dispersed phase and dispersed medium, just like in a solute and the solvent. So dispersion medium is here is a solvent and dispersed phase is a solute. So the solute-like component or in a dispersed particles in a collider form the dispersed phase, and the component in which the dispersed phase is suspended is known as a dispersing medium. Here the particles which is in a solid like that we are calling as in a dispersed phase, and the dispersed phase that will be soluble in the medium that we are calling as in a dispersing medium. So the colloids are classified according to the state, solid, liquid and gas of the dispersing medium and dispersing phase. A very few common examples given in this table. So in this table we can say the dispersed phase, dispersing medium, type and the example. First the dispersing phase is liquid and dispersing medium is an gas. The type is an aerosol, that is collider type, and example fog, cloud and mist. When dispersed phase is solid and medium is gas, then it is also we are getting an aerosol. Example smoke, automobile exhaust. Next, dispersion phase is gas and medium is changing liquid. So we'll get a form saving cream. Dispersed phase is liquid and medium is also in a liquid. So liquid in liquid we are getting emulsion. Example of that is milk and face cream. When dispersed phase is solid, it will be soluble in dispersed medium is liquid. Then we are getting a sol. So milk of magnesia and mud. If dispersed phase is gas and medium is solid, we'll get a foam. Example foam, rubber, sponge, punica. If dispersed phase is liquid and medium is a solid and we are getting a gel, that is a jelly, cheese, butter. If both dispersed phase and dispersed medium are solid, we are getting a solid sol. And example is a colored gemstone and milky glass. So these are the type of collided solutions in a dispersed phase and dispersed medium. Now we can see the type of the dispersed system by the particle size. So this is a true solution. You can see that is a water adding in a salt or sugar, so it will be clear, and you can see the particles that it is very small that we cannot see by our naked eye. And here it is a just example is a blood. So here it is a collided system. The diameter is 10 to the power minus 7 to 10 to the power minus 9 centimeter. And this is a suspension that you can see it is very big. So that is a diameter is greater than 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. So this is an example of a true solutions, collided solution and suspension solution. Next we will see the difference between the true solutions, collided solutions and suspension solutions. So the basic of comparison. First one is description. True solution is homogeneous mixtures of two or more substance in which the substance dissolve in the solvent that are particles of sizes less than 10 to the power minus 9 nanometer. And collided solution is also refers to the collided suspension. Is a solution in which a material is evenly suspended in a liquid. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in which the solid particles do not dissolve, but it gets suspension throughout the bulk of solvent and left floating around freely in the medium. Sizes of the particles in the true solutions are having the molecules diameter less than 1 nanometer, and size of the particles in collided solutions lies between the range of 1 nanometer to the 100 nanometer or 1000 nanometer. Here the size of particles in these cases of suspension is greater than 1000 nanometer. Tyndall effect. The true solutions does not show the Tyndall effect, that is a scattering of light, where collided solution shows the Tyndall effect. Suspensions may or may not show a Tyndall effect. This is when the particles is not settled, then at that time there will be Tyndall effect. When the particle will be settled, we cannot see the Tyndall effect. Visibility is an appearance of particles. The solid particles are invisible to the naked eye as well as under the most powerful microscope. Here the solid particles are invisible to the naked eye, but their scattering can be viewed with the help of microscope. And solid particles are visible even to the naked eye and can be seen with the help of microscope. Nature of the solution, it is homogeneous, this is heterogeneous, and this also in a heterogeneous. Next, color of solution. Depending upon the nature of a soluble salt or an ion, so depending on the size of collided particles, and here also the depends on the color of the suspension particles. Brownian movement. So what is Brownian movement? The collided particles are in the state of constant random motions in zigzag paths. So that we are calling as a Brownian movement. So it is due to the collisions between the collided particles themselves. So when there is a collisions will be happens, so that will be shows a Brownian movement. So only the collided particles will shows this Brownian movement. So the particles in the true solutions do not shows a Brownian movement. The particles in collider shows a Brownian movement. The particle shows a Brownian movement. Sedimentations. The particles in true solutions do not sedimentation, that it will not be settled down. Why it is in a true solution? Do not settle, undergo the sedimentations. Collider part. In suspension, the particles undergoes a sedimentation. filtrable process, that is when it passes through the filter paper, what happens? True solutions particles can diffuse or passes through both the parchment and filter paper as well as. Collider particles passes through the filter paper but not through an parchment paper. Suspension particles do not passes through the filter paper as well as an parchment paper. External appearance, it is a transparent, it is a translucent, and this is opaque. Number of phase system, here it is one phase system, here it is two phase system, here it is also a two phase system. Stability, it is a stable, it is also stable. This is a metastable that we can call as an unstable. Example, sugar solution in water, starch dissolve in water, and so soil dissolve in water. So these are the difference between the true solutions and collider solutions and suspension solutions. Hope you are all understood this one. Thank you. We will meet in a next session of this video.